This is Max and Mia podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Max and Mia podcast. I'm Mia.
And I'm Max. Really glad you're here with us today.
Max, how are you doing? How's everything going on your end?
Honestly, pretty good. A bit tired, but you know how it is. Once we get into it, the energy just comes naturally. What about you?
Same, actually. I had a long week, but sitting down to record always helps. It kind of resets everything.
That's the thing about this, right? You just get into it and forget about the rest.
All right. So let's talk about what we have for you today, because I think this one is really useful.
Really useful, yes. We've all been there. You're watching a series, having a conversation with a native speaker, or maybe you're at work in a meeting, and suddenly someone says something that stops you completely. Not because the words are difficult, but because together they mean something totally different.
Exactly. Today we're looking at real conversations. Situations you might actually find yourself in, whether it's at the office, catching up with a friend, or dealing with something a little uncomfortable.
And the key thing is that we're not just going to listen, we're going to break things down. The expressions, the idioms, the kind of language that textbooks tend to skip over.
Because knowing vocabulary is one thing, but understanding how people actually talk is a whole different level.
So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and have a pen nearby if you want to take notes.
Are you ready, Max?
Ready when you are.
Good. Stay with us, everyone. By the end of this episode, you'll be walking away with new vocabulary and, more importantly, real tools for those moments when a conversation catches you off guard. Let's get into it. All right, listeners, picture this. It's late, you're in bed, the lights are off, and you're finally about to fall asleep. And then, out of nowhere, you start hearing footsteps above you, then dragging, then what sounds like someone moving furniture at 11 o'clock at night.
The neighbor upstairs has decided that right now, at this hour, is the perfect time to do housework. Vacuuming, mopping, who knows what else.
And this isn't a one-time thing either. During the day, loud music. At night, chores. Every single day.
I mean, who does that? Who mops their floor at midnight?
Honestly, I feel like we all know someone like that. Listeners, if that's you, no judgment. Well, maybe a little.
Just a tiny bit.
So, after a while of putting up with this, you decide enough is enough. Talking to this person directly hasn't really worked, so you pick up the phone and call the building manager, or maybe your landlord, to see if something can actually be done.
And here's the question. If you had to make that call right now in English, could you handle it? Could you explain the situation clearly, describe what's been going on, and actually get your point across?
That's exactly what we're looking at today. Let's get into it.
Hello, this is Patrick.
Hi, Patrick. It's Rachel. Rachel from apartment 3C. Sorry to call out of the blue like this. I hope I'm not catching you at a bad time.
No, not at all. What's going on, Rachel?
Well, I hate to make a fuss, but honestly, things have gotten to the point where I feel like I need to say something. It's about the tenant in 4C, the one right above me. I've been putting up with this for a while now, and I've really tried to let it go, but it's just not getting any better.
Okay, tell me what's been happening.
So there are kind of two separate things. During the day, he plays music incredibly loud. And I don't mean just a little loud. I mean, I can hear it word for word from my living room. I work from home 3 days a week, so it really throws me off. I've lost track of how many times I've had to close all my windows and still barely been able to concentrate.
That does sound disruptive. And you said there were two things.
Yes, and honestly, the second one is the one that's really getting to me. He does all his cleaning at night, like late at night. I'm talking vacuuming, moving things around, dragging furniture across the floor. Last Tuesday, it was past midnight, and I could hear him going back and forth above my bedroom. I have to be up at 6 for work, so at that point, I was just lying there staring at the ceiling, completely fed up.
I see. Has this been going on long?
About 6 weeks, maybe a bit more. And look, I'm not trying to blow things out of proportion. I know everyone has their own routine. But when it starts affecting your sleep night after night, it wears you down, you know? I did try to have a word with him about 2 weeks ago. I knocked on his door, kept it friendly, just mentioned the noise at night. But he kind of brushed me off, said he'd be more careful, and then the very next evening, it was the same story all over again. So I figured it was time to loop you in.
I'm glad you called, Rachel. You were right to bring this to my attention. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't aware this was going on. I'll reach out to him this week and remind him of the building's quiet hours, which, just so you know, run from 10 at night to 8 in the morning. If things don't improve after that, we can look at what other steps are available.
That's really good to hear. I wasn't sure if this was something you could even step in on, so I appreciate you taking it seriously.
Of course, that's what I'm here for. I'll keep you posted once I've spoken to him. And Rachel, if it happens again before then, don't hesitate to reach out.
Will do. Thanks so much, Patrick. I really appreciate it.
No problem at all. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Okay, so that was Rachel and Patrick.
And honestly, a pretty realistic call. Nothing dramatic, no arguing, just someone trying to handle a frustrating situation like an adult.
Which is actually harder than it sounds, right? Especially in a second language. You have to be clear, you have to be polite, and you have to get your point across without coming off as difficult.
Rachel did that really well. She was firm but kept it civil the whole way through. And the language she used felt very natural, very real, not textbook at all.
Which brings us to the good part. Because if you were paying attention, you probably caught a few expressions in there that you don't exactly learn on page 42 of your grammar book.
Exactly. So let's look at 3 of them. 3 idioms from that conversation that are genuinely useful and worth adding to your toolkit.
First one, keep you posted. Patrick says it near the end. I'll keep you posted once I've spoken to him. To keep someone posted means to keep them updated, to let them know as things develop. It's very common in both professional and everyday situations. You'll hear it at work, in emails, in casual conversations. I'll keep you posted basically means, don't worry, I won't leave you in the dark.
Second one, brushed me off. Rachel uses this when she talks about knocking on her neighbor's door. She says he kind of brushed her off. To brush someone off means to dismiss them, to not take what they're saying seriously. It's that feeling when you bring something up and the other person acts like it's not really worth their time. It's a bit dismissive, a bit rude, and brushed me off captures that perfectly in just 3 words.
And the third one is a longer phrase, but a very good one. Blow things out of proportion. Rachel actually uses it about herself. She says, I'm not trying to blow things out of proportion. This means to make something seem bigger or more serious than it actually is, to exaggerate. And what's interesting here is that she uses it to show she's being reasonable. She's basically telling Patrick, look, I'm not overreacting. This is genuinely a problem.
And that's actually a smart move in any conversation where you're raising a complaint. Acknowledging that you're not blowing things out of proportion makes you sound more credible and easier to work with.
Good stuff. All right, let's move on.
All right, new scenario, and this one is a bit different in tone.
A lot more relaxed.
Right. So think about this. You're walking around your city, maybe grabbing a coffee, maybe just out for a bit, and you notice someone who is clearly not from around there. They have a map, they're looking around, taking photos of things locals stopped noticing years ago.
And maybe you feel like going up and saying something. Or maybe they approach you first. Either way, you end up in a conversation with a tourist.
Now, this kind of conversation goes a lot further than just giving directions. It's that genuine back and forth, where you ask how they're finding the city, what they've done so far, what they thought of it. Maybe you throw in a few recommendations they wouldn't find in any travel guide.
And in English, that kind of casual, friendly conversation has its own rhythm and its own set of expressions. It's not complicated, but if you've never really had that interaction before, it can feel a little tricky to keep it going naturally.
So that's exactly what we're going to look at next. Stay with us.
Excuse me, sorry to bother you. Are you lost or?
Is it that obvious?
A little bit, yeah. You've been staring at that corner for like 2 minutes. Can I help you with something?
That would be amazing, honestly. I'm trying to figure out if I'm anywhere near the old market. I've been walking around for a while and I think I've completely lost my bearings.
Oh, you're actually pretty close. It's just about 10 minutes that way. But hey, are you enjoying the city so far?
I really am, yeah. I mean, I only got here 2 days ago, but it's already kind of blown me away. Like, I didn't know what to expect, honestly.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Where are you from?
Canada, Vancouver. Very different vibe from here, I have to say.
I can imagine. So, what have you been up to? Have you had a chance to explore much?
Yeah, I walked around the main square yesterday, went into a couple of churches, which were stunning, by the way, and last night I ended up at this little restaurant down a side street. No idea how I found it, but the food was incredible. Some kind of slow-cooked meat dish. I couldn't even tell you what it was called, but I cleaned my plate.
That's the best way to eat here, honestly. Just wander and see what you find. Did you try the street food at all?
Not yet. I've been a little on the fence about it, new stomach and all that.
No, you have to. There's this one spot near the market. They do these little fried pastries with cheese inside. You will not regret it, I promise. That's like a non-negotiable while you're here.
Okay, I'm sold. I'll find it. What about areas? Is there anywhere you'd say I should avoid? I want to make the most of my time, but I also don't want to end up somewhere sketchy without realizing it.
That's a fair point. I mean, most of the center is completely fine, especially during the day. But I'd steer clear of the area around the bus terminal at night. It gets a bit rough after dark. And there's a neighborhood to the east side near the old warehouses. It looks interesting from the outside, but it's not really a tourist-friendly zone, especially if you're on your own.
Good to know. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Exactly. Stick to the main areas in the evening and you'll be absolutely fine. The riverfront is beautiful at night too. Very lively. Lots of people around. You'd enjoy it.
I'll add that to the list. Oh, one thing I wanted to ask actually. I need to get to the botanical garden tomorrow, and I was thinking of taking a taxi. Do you know roughly how much that should cost from the center? Because the last driver I had, I'm pretty sure took me for a ride, if you know what I mean.
Oh no, yeah, that happens. Okay, so from the main square to the botanical garden, you're looking at maybe $4 to $6, something like that. If anyone quotes you more than 8, just get out and find another one.
That's really helpful, because yesterday someone told me 12, and I thought that seemed off, but I wasn't sure enough to push back.
Yeah, 12 is way too much for that distance. Always ask before you get in, and if they won't give you a number up front, just walk away. There are always more taxis.
Good advice. I wish I'd known that on day one. Live and learn, I guess.
Exactly. Well, you've still got time to make up for it.
True. Hey, I really appreciate this. You've been super helpful. I feel like I got more out of this 5-minute chat than I did from 2 hours of Googling last night.
Happy to help. Enjoy the market, try the pastries, and stay away from the warehouse district at night.
Got it. I'll remember that. Thanks so much, really.
Of course. Have a great time.
Okay, I really liked that one.
Same. It had a very different energy from the first conversation, right? Much lighter, more spontaneous. Two strangers just talking.
And that's actually the point. Not every conversation in English is a complaint call or a formal situation. Sometimes it's just a random 5 minutes on the street that ends up being genuinely useful and kind of fun.
And Daniel handled it well. He was open, he asked the right questions, he didn't just say, yes, no, thank you, and walk away. He kept it going naturally.
Sophia, too. She gave real information, not just the polite tourist version of things. She told him where to eat, what to avoid, how much a taxi should actually cost. That's the kind of local knowledge you can't Google.
Which is exactly why knowing how to have that conversation matters. If your English only gets you as far as where is the station, you're going to miss out on a lot.
All right, so let's get into the expressions. There were quite a few good ones in there, but we're going to focus on 4.
First up, blown me away. Daniel says the city has kind of blown him away. To blow someone away means to impress them deeply, to completely exceed their expectations. It's a strong expression, not just I liked it or it was nice. Blown away means you genuinely weren't prepared for how good it was. You'll hear it about places, performances, food, people. The concert blew me away. Her presentation blew everyone away. Very common, very natural.
Next one. Lost my bearings. Daniel uses this when he's talking about getting turned around in the city. To lose your bearings means to lose your sense of direction, to not know where you are or how you got there. Now, you can use this literally, like Daniel does, when you're actually lost somewhere. But you can also use it figuratively when you feel confused or disoriented in a situation. After everything that happened, I kind of lost my bearings for a while. Both uses are completely valid.
Third one, and this is a great one. Took me for a ride. Daniel says he's pretty sure the taxi driver took him for a ride. Now, this is a fun one because it sounds like it could just mean a taxi ride, right? But to take someone for a ride actually means to cheat them or deceive them, usually by overcharging or by taking advantage of the fact that they don't know any better. It's used a lot in situations involving money or trust. I think that mechanic took me for a ride. Don't let them take you for a ride. Very useful, especially when you're traveling.
And the last one. On the fence. Daniel says he's been a little on the fence about trying the street food. To be on the fence means to be undecided, to not have made up your mind about something yet. You can see both sides. You're not fully committed either way. I'm still on the fence about whether to take the job. She's on the fence about moving abroad. It's one of those expressions that comes up constantly in everyday conversations, and it's really easy to drop in once you know it.
4 very different expressions, but all of them the kind of thing that makes your English sound that much more natural when you use them in the right moment.
Absolutely. All right, let's keep going.
Before we wrap up, just a quick one. If you got something out of today's episode, if you picked up a new expression, If one of those conversations clicked for you in some way, go ahead and give this a like. It genuinely helps more people find the podcast.
And if you're not subscribed yet, now is a good time. We put out new episodes regularly, and each one is built around real situations, real language, the kind of stuff that actually comes up when you're out there using English.
And honestly, the best thing you can do right now is think of that one friend who's been working on their English. Send it to them. Share the episode. Because this is exactly the kind of content that helps you move from knowing the language to actually feeling comfortable in it.
All right, that's all from us on that front. Now let's close this out properly.
So that's a wrap on today's episode. 2 scenarios, a noisy neighbor situation, a chat with a tourist, and a good handful of expressions that you can actually start using right away.
And that's really the goal every time, isn't it? Not just to listen, but to walk away with something. A phrase, a word, a bit more confidence for the next time you find yourself in one of these situations.
Exactly. Language is built in moments like these. Small conversations, everyday situations. The more you expose yourself to real English, the more natural it starts to feel.
We hope today was one of those moments for you. Thank you so much for listening. It really does mean a lot that you choose to spend your time here with us.
Take care of yourselves, keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.